Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Faye. So today we're going to talk about money markets. I know you've heard about this and probably you'd want more clarification, or you've always needed clarification on this, so I thought why not make a video explaining this. So I've just written a few notes down because it's been long since I shot a video, and yeah, it just takes time for you to be comfortable behind the camera. Anyway, so I'll be referring to my point. So let's start off. So what is money market? Basically, money market is a short-term market where you can lend out money or you can borrow money. Now, most of the players in this particular market are big institutions, companies, and entities. So it's very rare for you to find an individual in the money market borrowing or lending, unless of course they're high net worth clients. We have some of those in the country. But generally, if you want to take part in money market, you can also do it, but you're going to have to use one of the institutions or the entities I've discussed. So yeah, basically that's it in terms of the technical aspects of money market. I don't think I really want to get technical at all. I want to make this as understandable as possible for everyone. So that is the definition of money market. Now, there are so many companies in Kenya that offer money market solutions. If you look at your daily newspaper, either Standard Nation, Business Daily, whichever you normally read, you'll see there's a business section, and there's a particular section which is very close to the NSC that is called, it's usually put under the name of money market and sometimes unit trusts. So if you go to that particular area, you'll be able to see all the companies that offer money market solutions. And they do not only offer money market solutions, they're actually regulated by CMA, which is the government organization that has the mandate to regulate any company that wants to deal with money in any market. So one word of caution to everyone is make sure whichever company you're dealing with, whichever company you decide you want to invest with, is actually regulated by CMA. And one of the ways you can tell whether it's regulated by CMA is, for example, looking into the dailies and seeing it posting its results every other day. If not that particular way, you can always go to the CMA website and just have a look at all the companies that are regulated, right? So let's say you're interested in getting into money markets. So what are some of the things that you should know? Now, one of the reasons why I like money markets is because of how they have a low initial investment. If you want to join a money market, depending with the company, but most of them, I've just looked at a range and I've seen most of them ask for around 3,000 to 5,000 as the initial investment. So once you fill the forms, the money market forms, you're able to give them an initial amount that they should start off with. And this initial amount for most of the companies, as I've said, is between 3,000 and 5,000. So once you give the initial amount, they invest for you, and every end month you get your interest. So the interest varies between the companies. However, there's sort of lie around the same range. The difference between them is really, really small. So for example, you might find that company X is giving you say 8%, the next one is giving you 8.5, 8.7, 9, and so on and so forth. So the difference is not that huge. If you see a very huge difference, or a company that is offering your product and terming it as a money market, yet their interest is way higher than what other companies are doing, then you should know that probably what you're investing in is not money market, it's not short term, it's not something that you can redeem overnight. So you need to put that into consideration. So as I was saying, the main characteristics of the money market is the low initial investment, number one. Number two, there's the aspect of liquidity, as I've said. So for most money markets, you're able to wake up one day, write an email to them, or sign the redemption form and tell them you want your money back, and they should be able to credit your account within 3 days. So that's a very key and important feature of money market, and why so many people like it, because there's that flexibility that you can simply ask them back for your money, and they will not tell you that you need to wait 2 months, 3 months, or they won't refer back to a contract that says you need to have held on to, say, at least 1 year or 2 years, and so on and so forth. So it's a very good thing for someone who's investing. For the guys who are doing the 52 weeks challenge, I mean, you can save your money in money market, because the minute you want it back, it's as simple as just signing a redemption form. And for some companies, you simply send an email, which is what I prefer using. I simply just write an email and tell them, kindly, I'd like to redeem my amount of money. It depends if I want to redeem the whole amount I've given them, or if it's a partial redemption, whichever they're usually able to cater for. Right, and something else that you need to note is that, of course, this is a business for the companies, so they have to charge you a fee. They're not doing anything for free. Every business is out there to make a profit. So basically, when you give them your money, what happens is they go and probably give another company their money at an interest rate, say at 10%, right? So once they've given out their money at 10%, they'll be given that interest. And once they receive the 10% interest, they will not give you all of it, because, well, it's not charity work and it just doesn't make sense. They have employees, they have people that they need to pay, and they have overheads that they incur every month. So it means that they need to cater for their own costs and probably make a profit. So all these money market companies usually charge an amount that they call management fees. So the management fees is for managing your money, and then they have an annual fee as well. So when you're considering which money market to invest in, kindly make sure that they tell you about these two charges. I know most of them don't mention. They'll come and tell you, we'll give you 10%, so you get excited, you do your calculations, but at the end of the month, when you get the interest, you're like, this doesn't make sense, right? So most of the time, the thing they've done is that they've deducted the annual or the management fees, whichever applies. So when you're going out there, when you're sourcing, when you're looking for a company that offers these money markets, kindly make sure you ask them about the fees. And when you're asking them about the fees, something important that you need to put into consideration is also to ask them when they give you a statement, because they usually give a statement every other end of the month. Ask them whether the amount they're showing you there is a net. By net, what I basically mean is that they have deducted all their costs. I have worked with a number of money market firms, and I've seen they have different styles. For example, I'll talk about Amana, which is a company I've invested with for some time. And one thing I know about them is when they give you the statement, the amount that is showing on your statement is the amount that will be coming to your account. In other words, they've already deducted the annual and the management fees. So there's no confusion. You really don't have to sit down and start calculating minus the annual fees, minus the management fees, minus the 15% capital tax. You really don't need to do that. They've deducted everything. Whatever they're showing on the statement is what is going to go to your account. So if you decide you want to redeem today, that is the exact amount they'll put into your account. So when you're going out there, please make sure you clarify on those two issues, because I've seen people who have complained to me. They've told me that this guy's told me my interest this month is, say for example, 2,000. However, when I asked them for the amount, they gave me 1,500 or they gave me 1,800. How is that possible? So what probably they didn't understand is that there are fees, and these fees have not been deducted. And I think it would be better if all companies just decided to give a statement that reflects the net. Really, no one is concerned about the gross. I want to know what is going to go into my pocket, right? And speaking of the amount that you'll be receiving every month, so that the amount that you'll be receiving in terms of interest, there are two ways of receiving this amount. There are people who decide they want to get that amount every other month, and there are those ones who decide that they want to get the amount once they redeem. So it depends. It depends with what you want to achieve, what your financial goals are, and just how you generally prefer handling your money. So if, for example, you want to be redeeming every month, then you need to give this instruction to the company. They need to be aware that every month they have to give you the money. If you're the type that reinvests back the interest, then well and good. Also, you need to know and just keep track and know that every amount that is reinvested is tracked on your end. So don't wholly rely on the company to do the reinvestment for you, to track and all that. It's just good to be proactive and to know what is happening to your money. So generally I've just talked about the main important facts of money market. So some of the companies, and this is a very interesting part. So many people usually ask, where should I put my money? And it's like people want you to tell them a specific company, and if I don't know for what reason, either it's for safety net or for them to feel like there's someone they will run to if things don't go as anticipated, as planned. But what I would say is, as long as it's regulated by CMM, as long as you see its results on the dailies, then it's a safe bet. And if you're able to go back historically, like if you're able to buy a newspaper for the last 3 or 4 years and just look back at it, you can be able to see the companies that have been there for long and their performances. But I'm generally going to mention a few companies that I have personally invested in at one point or another. So the first company that I invested in was Old Mutual. I did their money market for quite some time. Then of course I had to move. The reason why I moved, and this is something I've noticed with with Old Mutual to date, is the fact that their interest rate is a bit, it is not enticing, for lack of a better word. So for that particular reason, I had to make my move, and I went to other companies that are offering better and competitive rates. So I've also invested with Amana. I have also worked with Sanlam and with CBA Money Market. CBA is also in the same range as Old Mutual. If you're one of those people that wants something high, you you definitely want to look at that list and see which companies give you something high. If you invested today, right, and you check tomorrow, they'll be giving you a different rate. So also don't be concerned when for example, when you're signing up to one of these companies, they told you our rate to date is 10%. Then when they give you a statement, you're seeing something like 9%. You also need to be aware that the market changes, and money market is actually one of those products where they calculate your interest on the daily. So if markets perform really badly today, then it's going to have an overall effect on the effective effective rate that you get at the end of the month. Yes, so when they tell you 11%, it is not fixed. In fact, they cannot predict what percentage they're going to give you. However, they'll give you something indicative, and it usually does not differ so much from the indicated. So that's very important. Guys, when you're going to invest, please note that the money market percentage you're given, the rate is not constant. It keeps changing. It can go higher, it can go lower. It all depends. And the beauty of the product is, if rates are too low or if things are not working the way you wanted to, you can simply redeem and move on, right? And if things go well, the better for you, right? You get to enjoy as well. So also be cognizant of that fact. So there's something I wanted to do but have not been able to get a recent newspaper, and I thought using an old one would not really reflect the state as of today. So hopefully if I get a newspaper, I'll be able to shoot a different video and just show you what I mean when I say we can go and check on the newspaper which particular page, how they usually title it, because I realize there's so many people who just pass that section of the newspaper. They don't understand this. They're seeing graphs, they're seeing numbers, and it's just not interesting to them, so they never bother to look. However, I'm going to do a video on that. So yeah, so the companies are different. As I said, there are other companies that I know which are also doing well and I've seen for quite some time. I've also worked with Cyton. Sorry, I forgot to say Cyton. However, the other companies that I've seen that have been there for some time, there's Zimele, there is Nabo Capital. I've also seen them for some time. I have seen Stanlib, yeah, even Dry Associates. I've seen so many companies, but generally, when you want to invest, get a newspaper and decide which company works best for you. They're pretty much all the same to me, really, apart from a few things like the annual fees and the management fees, very important. And apart from the interest that they're giving you, because their companies, as I said, they give you such a low interest rate, you're like, why am I giving you my money? Oh yeah, and something else that I forgot to say. As I said, the minimum amount ranges between 3,000 and 5,000 across the companies, so it depends on whichever company you want to go for. And they also allow you to top up, so make sure you check with your company to see how much they allow you to, you know, top up every other month. I think it's, which company is it? I think it's Amana that allows you to do 1,000 every other month minimum, I think so. But they allow you to top up, and it's not a must for you to top up every month. Basically, this thing is like a charm. It's not even like a charm. It's like a saving scheme. If you decide you want to put money in, they will take the money. If you don't put money in, that's fine. Whatever you have is making money for you. So yeah, basically that's it. That's an introduction to Money Market. I'm hoping to do another video, hopefully using an example of a company. I will not choose any in particular because I don't have a preference, and none of these videos is sponsored anyway, so I will just randomly choose one. We can maybe look at an example and see the procedure of how to do it, and maybe even look at a statement. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions in regards to Money Market, things that you want me to cover in the next video, please do let me know. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice week. Bye.